Now at 6, why recreational marijuana is not allowed on some Missouri college campuses. Plus, the Joplin Fire Department battles an early morning house fire, and the NCAA releases violations by the Missouri Southern football program.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The possession of recreational marijuana is now legal in Missouri as of yesterday for those 21 and older, but it's still not allowed in certain places like some college campuses. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Dow Quick. Reporter Joe Hickman checked in with some Missouri colleges to find out why.
Missouri State, Drury, Evangel, and OTC already have policies in place prohibiting narcotics and controlled substances. And although Thursday marked the onset of a new era in our state's history with the legalization of small amounts of recreational marijuana for those over age 21, pot is still illegal to possess or use on all of Springfield's college campuses, as well as all the schools in the University of Missouri system.
It really has been pretty clear cut. The policy's already been in place at Drury.
Drury, Evangel, and Missouri State are all part of Missouri Partners in Prevention, a coalition of 24 higher education schools.
They're dedicated really to creating healthy and safe college campuses, and that includes prohibiting marijuana use. Regardless of the state changes, Drury will continue to abide by federal law, and under federal law, marijuana is still classified as a Schedule I drug.
While Missouri State and Evangel declined on-camera interviews, they did provide statements that their policies will not change. And although OTC is not a part of the Partners in Prevention,
marijuana is illegal to possess at Ozarks Technical Community College, and really any college or university where their students receive federal funding or they receive any kind of federal grants, research funding, anything like that, it has to remain illegal. Even if it were no longer against federal law, we still wouldn't allow it on our campus. Just like alcohol, it's just an intoxicant, and we don't want it here.
Obviously, the state law legal and federal law illegal aspect of marijuana will continue to be a point of contention, as the two-faced nature of the problem is something students are noticing.
I think Mizzou's approach definitely shows that they are feeding into the stigma on war on drugs, definitely framing marijuana as something incredibly dangerous and scary when let's be honest, they pretty much promote alcohol use by allowing tailgates on their property, which is fine, but let's be fair, not demonize something else.
Recreational marijuana is likely to be available for sale in Missouri in early February. The KOAM reached out to Missouri Southern and Crowder College to see what regulations those schools will have, but we have not received a response. The Joplin Fire Department battled an early morning house fire that left one person injured. That fire started around 5:30 this morning in a home at 832 South Pennsylvania. Fire officials sounded 2 alarms to combat the blaze. Around 8, Joplin Public Works began taking down part of the house to expose any hidden hot spots. One person inside that home was injured as he was escaping. He was taken to the hospital. No word on the cause of that fire. A Northeast Oklahoma man is dead and 2 others are injured following a crash in Craig County, Oklahoma. Authorities say 31-year-old Braden Ingram of Blue Jacket was driving on State Highway 10 near South 4470 Road when his car and his semi struck head-on. Ingram died at the scene. The passenger in Ingram's car, 25-year-old Nathaniel Sajulga, is in critical condition. The driver of the semi, 37-year-old Daniel Tanner, is also listed in critical condition. Sam Lane joins us now with a first look at the weather.
Thank you very much. It was a beautiful day across the area. Some sunshine, a little bit on the chilly side this morning. Radar is clear right now across our area, but if you notice, some sprinkles starting to show up down in Osage County in Oklahoma, and a little bit further to the south and west, you can see the rain now starting to move into western and southwestern Oklahoma. And guess where that's headed? That's headed for us. Fortunately, it's going to be in the overnight hours when it arrives, so most of the folks will not be dealing with rain this evening. Highs this afternoon, we're in the upper 40s to around 50 degrees, pretty much area wide. A little bit cooler up to the north. They only made it up to 43 up there in Stockton, and temperatures right now are starting to become chilly with some readings in the mid 30s, like in Chanute with 36 and Garnett. Same thing, a little bit warmer still down in Grove where it's currently 45 degrees. We're still in a drought, and that's going to be a little bit abated as we go through the weekend with some rain in the forecast. I'll have all the details coming up.
All right, we'll see you soon. Miami, Oklahoma police officers have a new tool and training for de-escalating threats without lethal force. The department now has pepper ball launchers and pellets. 15 officers were trained on how to use the launchers. Officials say those are going to help save lives. An oil spill in a creek in northeastern Kansas shut down a major pipeline that carries oil from Canada to the Texas Gulf Coast, briefly causing oil prices to rise yesterday. Canada-based TC Energy said it shut down its Keystone system following a drop in pipeline pressure. It said oil spilled into a creek in Washington County, Kansas. That's about 150 miles northwest of Kansas City. The company said in a news release that the pipeline segment where the spill occurred had been isolated and that the company was using booms or barriers to keep the spill oil from moving downstream. It did not say how much oil was spilled or what caused that spill. Coming up, we're going to check out a groundbreaking for a new clinic for children with autism in Pittsburgh. Plus, Christmas came early for some Joplin kids. We'll tell you why. It's been confirmed the Wichita, Kansas native actress Kirstie Alley died after a battle of colon cancer. More than 52,000 people are expected to die from that disease this year. That's according to the American Cancer Society. In the wake of the Wichita native's death, are more people getting screened? Reporter Alex Jurgens is hearing from the Ascension Via Christi Cancer Center about detecting and a clinical study that aims to address it sooner.
At Ascension Via Christi's Cancer Center, Dr. David Bryant got something he tells his patients to do: get screened for colon cancer. He had a colonoscopy after actor Chadwick Boseman died from his own fight with stage 3 colon cancer.
Next time I have to show up is in 10 years.
He has noticed, over time, a concerning trend regarding increasing colorectal cancer rates in younger patients. Because of this, doctors are recommending screenings to start at age 45 instead of 50.
We think some of it has to do with lifestyle and diet. We're really trying to figure that out.
The center is currently conducting a clinical trial to effectively detect colorectal cancer and address it sooner. The trial is asking people who are 55 and older who have no symptoms to collect a stool sample. Research coordinator Hope Stein says it's to compare blood and stool samples to the results from a colonoscopy.
Right now, the best way to screen for colorectal cancer is a colonoscopy. And that's why a lot of people don't want to do it, understandably so. So if there's a less invasive way that we can do it, we might be able to catch this cancer sooner.
Stein says early detection and treating it is key. She believes the study can help with that.
Usually it's something wrong that takes people to get it done, but by that time it's usually too late.
The clinical study is still asking for participants. That study is continuing through the end of the month. A groundbreaking ceremony today celebrates construction of a new clinic in Pittsburgh for children with autism. It's a project by the nonprofit group Integrated Behavioral Technologies, or IBT, in conjunction with Sunshine Childcare.
We've been a part of the community so long with the back to school haircuts that we just see the great need of the transition, how church and community can work together. And we just have a great facility, we have a great location, and we just thought it was a great opportunity to put those pieces to use day in and day out.
The nearly 2,400 square foot facility is scheduled to open early next year. It could serve up to 30 families. IBT hopes surrounding communities and cities will reach out to also obtain services. Christmas came a little early for elementary kids in Joplin. James River Church gave gifts to students in Joplin schools, including West Central. It's part of the church's annual season of giving. There was also interactive games, music, and a Christmas adventure.
To show God's love to each and every student and each and every administrator and faculty member, and just to say God sees you and He loves you.
Schools are selected based on several factors, including the number of children enrolled in the free or reduced school lunch program. A little bit later, the NCAA releases violations by the Missouri Southern football program.
And we're going to take a look at the radar because there is some rain on it, and I'll have the details coming up in your forecast right after this. Well, we had a pretty nice day across the area with lots of sunshine. The clouds are starting to increase, though, from the west, and that's a harbinger of things to come as we go the next 24 to 36 hours. Right now, though, let's enjoy the nice evening, like down at Indigo Sky Casino and Resort in Seneca, Missouri. Pretty nice evening down there for those folks as well, and clouds increasing down there for those folks too. 50 degrees was what we made it up to do, which was only 1 degree above normal. 35 on the low, which was 5 degrees above normal. But check out the record low, 0. Back in 1995. Hopefully we won't see anything like that, but it's going to get cold over the next few weeks, and we'll detail that in just a second too. Radar right now is pretty much clear across our entire area. However, notice a few showers are starting to pick up on radar down in Oklahoma, and a little bit further to the south and west, the rain really starts to pick up. Temperatures right now are not that bad, generally in the 40s across our area, 43 in Joplin, 45 in Miami, and for the friends up to the north in Fort Scott, they're 37, 38 for our friends over in Nevada. Now, we are cooler today than we were yesterday, generally around 10 to 15 degrees colder now than it was 24 hours ago. And it's a good thing that we're above freezing, because that rain moving in tonight, that would have been a mess. But fortunately, it looks like we're going to stay above freezing. 43 degrees right now, 39 is what it feels like. The dew point's 36, and that's what's helping with any chances of any freezing precipitation, is that dew point is above freezing, and that's good news. The humidity is 76%. Here's the radar on the regional scale, and you can see that rain starting to develop in western Oklahoma and Texas. That is spreading to the north and east. So as you sleep tonight, you'll be hearing the pitter-patter on the roof with that rain coming down. In fact, here's your forecast. The rain will spread from southwest to northeast across the area with generally lows in the 40s. I don't think any of this will be winter-like at all, and it's going to be a cold rain, though, generally around 50 down to the south. Then by mid-morning, that will move away. So if you're heading out to the Christmas parades tomorrow, I think most of them will be fine, just a little bit on the wet pavement side. And then highs tomorrow afternoon are partly cloudy skies, generally in the upper 40s to right around 50 degrees with northeasterly winds. Then as we go through Saturday night into Sunday morning, we'll see lows in the 30s with partly cloudy skies and northeasterly winds. Then on Sunday afternoon, the sun comes back with highs in the 50s across the area, 40s up to the north with southeasterly winds. So that's pretty good. Then as we go into Sunday night into Monday morning, we'll see lows in the 40s with maybe a sprinkle or two, especially off towards the west. Rain chances over the next 36 hours, yeah, pretty solid bet, especially for tonight from around 3 to 6 a.m. in the morning. Then the chances really start to drop off as that storm system moves away. How much rain? Well, most of the heaviest rain is going to be down to the south, so generally around ½ an inch here and more to the south, lighter towards the north. And then as we go through the forecast, we're going to see this storm system moving in from the west. It's going to take its time tonight and tomorrow morning, but then that rapidly moves away. But then we're going to be watching this huge storm moving into the west coast. That's going to impact our weather as we move into Tuesday, and that could be a severe weather maker. So we're going to have to watch that storm very closely. Generally, we're going to see cold wave across the country in about 8 to 14 days. And when you add into that precipitation, that means we could see some snow in our forecast. In fact, here's a look at the forecast. Over the next 7 days, no snow tonight, just 51 tomorrow with rain tonight and tomorrow morning, 62 on Tuesday with breezy conditions. Storms move in on Tuesday, and like I said, some of those could be strong to severe, especially to the south. Then we turn colder and maybe some snow flurries on Thursday morning. Doesn't look like a big storm system right now, but we're watching a bigger storm system beyond that one that we'll talk a little bit about a little bit later.
I know you and the rest of the weather team will keep us informed as necessary. Thanks, Sam. Still ahead, 3 local teams hit the floor tonight in the Carthage Invitational semifinals, and the NCAA hands down penalties to Missouri Southern football after an investigation reveals multiple infractions under the previous coaching staff. Jacob Leonard has that and more up next.
Well, the NCAA has released a report today detailing multiple infractions from the Missouri Southern football program under the previous coaching staff in 2019 and 2020. Now, those violations include impermissible recruiting benefits and academic misconduct. Now, in those 2 seasons, the Lions football program was under the direction of former head coach Jeff Sims. And the report today says the former Southern head coach, quote, failed to promote an atmosphere of compliance with the NCAA rules and was directly involved in the violations, end quote. Among the multiple infractions, the report says the former head coach arranged for a booster to pay off student athletes' tuition at his previous school so that player's transcripts would be released and he could transfer to Missouri Southern. Now, the penalties against Missouri Southern stemming from the investigation include 3 years probation running through November 2025, a $5,000 fine, a reduction in football scholarships for the 2022-2023 academic year, and also the school must vacate all football records in which ineligible student athletes competed. Now, Missouri Southern says no current employees were implicated in that investigation. The school declined to comment on camera, but did release statements from both President Dean Van Galen and Athletic Director Rob Mallory. In the statement, Mallory says, quote, "While these circumstances are unfortunate, particularly because the violations occurred prior to Coach Bradley's arrival, we are pleased to have the matter resolved so that we can continue the focus on the positive progress of our football program," end quote. You can check out the full report from the NCAA and the full statement in this story on the sports page at KOAMnewsnow.com. The Kansas City Chiefs are 9-3 through the first 12 games of the season. Last week, they fell on the road to the Bengals, snapping a 5-game winning streak. This week, they remain on the road for a divisional rivalry game against the Broncos. Now, like we do every Friday night, right now it's time to hear from the voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holthus, in this week's Minute with Mitch.
Chiefs General Manager Brett Veach and his staff never stop. They're constantly working to strengthen the Chiefs roster, build depth, but they're also in the insurance business. This week, the Chiefs are going after a 14th straight win over the Denver Broncos. And the Chiefs recently signed former Bronco running back Melvin Gordon to their practice squad. Many fans in the Chiefs Kingdom ask why. Well, a big part of the insurance industry is insurance for insurance. Think already how the Chiefs' insurance for insurance has worked. Kadarius Toney filling in for an injured McCole Hardman, or running back Ronald Jones II being available when Clyde Edwards-Helaire was put on injured reserve. With the current rules, the ever-moving practice squad can be a blend of veterans and developmental players alike. And insurance for insurance on this Minute with Mitch. The Minute with Mitch is brought to you by Como Jewelry. Every day's game day, Como Jewelry, Pittsburgh, Joplin.
Sunday's Chiefs-Broncos game kicks off at 3:05 right here on KOAM. The Chiefs are 9-point favorites over Denver. To basketball now. Tonight is semifinal night at the 76th Carthage Invitational. 3 local teams still alive in the tournament, including the Joplin Eagles. Eagles face Ray Peck tonight. That one begins in about 35 minutes. Then at 8:30, we have a COC rivalry game on the other side of the bracket. It's the tournament host Tigers against the Webb City Cardinals. We'll be there for both semifinal games tonight, and we will have highlights right here tonight at 10. So obviously that Missouri Southern news, the biggest news of the day, but all I could think of was, I feel for the players and the coaches that are there now, because, they're obviously going in the right direction and they have to kind of deal with the consequences of things that have happened in the past.
All right, something that they had nothing to do with,
Right.
but the future team will be suffering a bit of the consequences. We'll be right back. We take time now to honor a local veteran. Mort Cox served in the U.S. Army in 1952 and 53. The Chinook, Kansas native was stationed in Korea in the Fox Company. We are proud to salute Sergeant Mort Cox, a 4-state hero. Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. We're going to take a look at another economic report out today showing wholesalers who are still getting hit hard with high inflation, though not as bad as earlier this year. Also, Republican lawmakers are demanding accountability after another batch of Twitter files reportedly shows a company secretly censored people, that Twitter company, and a look at the most searched for recipes through Google. Those stories, a lot more tonight. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. If I ever try to cook anything, I Google it. I don't care if it's how long do you boil an egg. I'll Google I'll Google everything.
Most of the time, I Google the exact same thing. It's like, how long do I bake this chicken? I look over and over and over and over and over and over.
Better safe than sorry. Of course, Google will have a lot of different answers depending on who supplied the information.
We got some rain moving in tonight, and it's going to be overnight, and then by tomorrow it should be out of here, and then we start to warm up early next week, and then some strong storms on Tuesday, and then yes, there may be some snow flurries, especially up to the north on Thursday morning, and then look at this, a bigger storm system next weekend, but that's still up in the air.
See you right back here at 10. Let's make it a great evening.